Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's unpack this common idea we hear, well, everywhere, really.
hmm
That, real success, real happiness, it comes from constantly serving others, giving everything you've got, sacrificing your own needs. It's pushed as this, ultimate virtue.
Right, the noble sacrifice narrative.
Exactly, always putting everyone else first. But what if that whole story, even though it sounds good on the surface, what if it's actually, well, flawed?
Fundamentally flawed, perhaps.
Yeah. What if pushing for that ideal just sets us up for constant burnout, maybe resentment simmering under the surface and just feeling empty?
It's a recipe for depletion, for sure.
So today, we're not just going to touch on that. We're going to challenge it head on. We're
Yeah.
diving deep into this powerful, maybe sometimes ignored truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You just can't.
Such a simple metaphor, but so profound.
Isn't it? And it ripples through everything. Which brings us right to our main question for this deep dive. What if the actual foundation for a great life, for strong relationships, for real, meaningful success, what if it starts with valuing yourself first? Seems counterintuitive sometimes, right?
It really does fly in the face of a lot of cultural messaging.
So we're going to be pulling insights from this text. Value yourself first. A foundation for life. And this isn't just, a theory book. It's more like a catalyst, a really direct message aimed at making you think, making you reflect, and hopefully taking action.
Right, it's designed to prompt that internal shift.
Our mission today, pretty clear. We want to pull out the most important nuggets, really get what valuing yourself first actually means, explore why it's often so darn hard to do, and crucially, find practical ways you can weave this into your everyday life.
And what's fascinating as we dig into this is that it's not about ego. It's really not about becoming selfish in that shallow way we often think about it. Or, some kind of narcissistic thing. It's actually the opposite. It's about a fundamental shift in perspective, sometimes a really deep one, that actually lets you engage with the world more deeply, more authentically.
Well, sustainably, right. That feels key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sustainably. It's like building this solid internal foundation, this reservoir, you could say, that you can genuinely operate from. Not just for you, but for everyone you connect with.
Makes sense.
And I'm pretty sure many of you listening right now, you've probably wrestled with those feelings, right? That feeling of not being quite enough, or maybe battling self-doubt, that little voice saying you don't measure up.
Oh, yeah. The comparison trap.
The comparison trap, absolutely. Or maybe you're carrying the weight of past mistakes, letting them define who you are now. Or maybe it's just that quiet exhaustion from always giving, and never really refilling your own tank. So this deep dive, it's for you. We want to offer some practical wisdom to navigate those feelings, give you some concrete tools to really own your worth, and show you how to build a life that truly reflects that value. Because honestly, when you really get this, it can transform everything, your daily interactions, your relationships, how you go after your dreams. It gives you this bedrock of confidence and purpose.
Okay, so let's start right there with that core metaphor again. The empty cup. It's this basic, foundational truth. You just can't give what you haven't first given yourself. Not authentically, anyway. Not for long.
It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Almost too simple.
Right. But the really interesting part, and maybe the hardest part, is how much our conditioning, our habits, even our own internal wiring kind of fights against it. We might get it intellectually, nod along.
We know the phrase.
But emotionally, we're still often pulled to put external stuff first, other people's needs, the world's demands. Why is it so hard to actually live by this, even when it seems so logical?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Inertia, maybe. Fear of being seen as selfish.
Maybe, but think about the consequences. If you're constantly pouring out your energy, your time, your emotions, your essence, really into everything else.
Your job, your family, your community.
Yeah, all of it. Without intentionally stopping to refill your own well, what happens? You just run dry.
Completely depleted. Burnout isn't just physical, it's emotional, mental.
Totally. Running on fumes.
Yeah.
And then the quality of what you can give, it just tanks. It's like a shadow of what it could be.
Right. And the danger isn't just feeling tired, it's bigger. It leads to chronic stress, maybe even resentment that starts to poison things.
Yeah, that feeling of always playing catch up, never really feeling fulfilled or joyful, it seeps into everything.
Exactly. So the source really hammers this home. As this isn't optional. It's the absolute starting point for a great life, strong relationships, any kind of meaningful success. Non-negotiable.
Okay, so if it's that fundamental, we need to be super clear on what it is. What is self-value, really? Because you're right, it gets twisted easily.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it's crucial to define what it isn't. first. It's not arrogance, that puffed up I'm better than you
Be
vibe.
right, not that.
Definitely not shallow selfishness
Yeah.
and not pride in that negative, boastful way. Often those things are just masks anyway, covering up insecurity.
Good point. So what is it then, according to the text?
It's defined as deep self-respect. It's that unwavering internal knowing that you have inherent worth, regardless of what you achieve, what others think, what's happening around you.
Inherent worth. I like that.
Yeah. It's understanding that if you don't honor your own value, nobody else is going to do it for you. Not consistently, not authentically, not in a way that actually nourishes you. It's knowing your worth isn't something you have to constantly earn or prove or justify. It just is.
That's a big shift for a lot of people.
It is. And the source offers this really clear distinction. Ego says, I am better than you. Self-value says, I am worthy just like you. See the difference?
Yeah, completely. One is about comparison. The other is about just being your own intrinsic value.
Exactly. Rooted in existence, not competition.
I think a huge reason we struggle with actually cultivating that self-value is what the source calls the illusion of external validation. We're basically trained to look outside ourselves for proof that we're okay.
Constantly seeking that gold star, that pat on the back.
Totally. So many of us, and maybe you listening can relate, spend our lives waiting for the applause, the recognition, the approval from parents, partners, bosses, even strangers online. We think, okay, once they say I'm good enough, then I'll feel it. We basically outsource our sense of worth.
We give away that power.
But the text uses this really stark image. It says, if you keep waiting for someone else to crown you, you will remain crownless. Oof.
Wow. That hits hard, doesn't it?
It really does. It's heartbreaking almost. It means that real, lasting, unshakable value, it can't be given to you from the outside. It has to start within. You are the only one who can actually put that crown on your own head.
So that person in the mirror.
That person in the mirror has got to be your biggest cheerleader, your strongest advocate, your #1 ally. Without that inner belief, that self-endorsement, nothing external really sticks. No achievement feels like enough. No praise lasts.
Because if you don't believe it deep down,
The whole world can't convince you. So it's like an invitation, really. Cultivate that inner voice. Start using that mantra, even if it feels awkward at first. I am worthy. I am capable. I am enough. Say it to yourself.
and building on that, think about how the world kind of works like a marketplace, responding to perceived value. The source uses this really effective price tag analogy.
Oh, interesting. How does that work?
It suggests that if you metaphorically set your own price tag at free,
Mm-hmm.
if you let people treat you like your time, your energy, your contributions aren't valuable.
Which we often do, maybe without realizing it.
Exactly. Then the world, quite logically, will take without giving back much. It's not necessarily malicious. It's just responding to the signal you're sending about your own worth.
Okay, I see that. So the flip side,
The inverse is just as powerful. When you consciously decide to set your value high, when you live with dignity, with discipline, with self-respect, the world kind of has no choice but to meet you at that higher standard. It adjusts.
wow.
So the key takeaway here, the thing we often miss because we're so focused on external validation, is this. The world does not give you value. It reflects the value you give yourself.
It's a mirror.
It's a mirror. Your internal belief about your worth is the main thing dictating how the external world sees you and treats you. It's a direct reflection.
Okay, so let's bring this down to earth. What does valuing yourself actually look like day to day? How do we practice this?
Right, the practical application.
Fundamentally, it seems like it's about setting standards and upholding them, becoming really intentional with your resources, your time, your energy, your peace of mind, your dreams. It's like being the CEO of you, Inc.
I like that. CEO of you, Inc. It involves making conscious choices.
Exactly. And the text talks about this through the power of saying no and yes. Valuing yourself means having the guts, the self-respect to say no to things that drain you.
Like those commitments you dread or negative people.
Yeah, or demands that just don't align with what's truly important to you. And just as important, maybe more important, is saying a clear yes to things that help you grow.
Learning new things, self-care that actually nourishes you, pursuing passions.
Nurturing positive relationships, all of that. The source puts it so bluntly. Every yes to something meaningless is a no to something important. That's just math, right? You only have so much bandwidth.
It's a finite resource budget, your time, your energy.
Yeah.
Where are you allocating it?
Where are those yeses going?
And building on that point about standards, it's fascinating how often we accidentally betray ourselves. Little things, maybe?
How do you mean betray ourselves?
Well, valuing yourself means having zero tolerance for disrespect.
Right.
From others, yes, but maybe even more critically, from yourself.
Ah, okay, so like the negative self-talk.
That's a huge part of it. Speaking words of doubt to yourself, or shrinking yourself down to fit in somewhere, lowering your standards just so people will like you or accept you, these are little acts of self-betrayal.
Tiny cuts adding up over time.
Exactly. And the consequence is huge. The text says it clearly. When you lower your value, you teach the world to treat you cheaply.
Oof, there it is again, that reflection.
And when you raise your value, you teach the world to meet you at a higher level.
Mm.
It's a direct link. When you accept less, you're silently saying, this is okay. My worth is negotiable. And the world gets the message.
So it's not about being difficult, it's about being clear, establishing those boundaries respectfully but firmly.
Precisely. Protecting your internal resources, your own sense of worth.
So how does this translate into how we physically, energetically just show up in the world?
The source uses this great analogy, the valuable objects analogy. Think about things we all agree are super valuable. A perfect diamond, pure gold, a rare painting.
Okay, yeah. Things kept safe.
Exactly. Why are they treated with such respect? Guarded, insured, handled carefully. It's not just because they're pretty. It's because they're seen as scarce, they're protected, they're not just given away carelessly.
Right. Their value is understood and honored.
Now apply that to yourself.
Mm.
You need to start seeing yourself as valuable. Priceless even.
Not in an arrogant way, though.
No, not arrogant. Doesn't mean isolating yourself or acting superior. It means carrying yourself with a quiet dignity. Radiating a calm confidence that doesn't need constant validation or applause.
Okay, like an inner knowing.
Yes. Knowing deep down that whether people praise you or criticize you, your actual worth doesn't change. It's constant. It's independent of their opinion. You're still the diamond, even if life throws some mud on you sometimes.
I like that visual, the diamond in the mud. Still valuable.
So connecting this to why it's often so tough,
Mm-hmm.
why is valuing ourselves so hard for so many of us? One huge reason the text points to is comparison.
Ah, the thief of joy.
Exactly. Especially now, with social media everywhere. We're constantly looking sideways, measuring ourselves against others, often against their highlight reels, right?
So totally. Their curated perfection.
And we tell ourselves, I'm not enough, not smart enough, rich enough, talented enough, happy enough, whatever it is. Compared to them, this constant measuring just chips away at our self-worth.
It's exhausting.
It's devastating, actually. The source calls it a thief, like you said. It steals your joy, steals your focus from your own path, and it holds back your growth because you're too busy watching someone else's race.
So what's the antidote?
Refreshingly simple, according to the text. The only person you should compete with is who you were yesterday. Just focus on your own progress, your own journey.
Like that flower analogy the text uses.
Yes. A flower does not compare itself to another flower. It just blooms. We all have our own timing, our own way of blossoming. We miss it if we're always checking out the garden next door.
That's good. Okay, so comparison is one route. What else makes it hard?
Well, alongside comparison, there's the weight of the past. So many people carry around shame, guilt, regret from mistakes they've made.
Mm-hmm. Letting past failures define their present worth.
Exactly. They believe those moments, those missteps, are like a permanent stain, defining their value forever, like a life sentence for their self-esteem.
Locked in that narrative of, I messed up, therefore I am unworthy.
Right. But we have to challenge that. The message is clear. Your mistakes are lessons. They are not life sentences.
So, back to the diamond in the mud.
Precisely. If you drop a $100 bill or a diamond ring in the mud, does its actual value change? No.
No, it's just dirty.
It's dirty, but the value is unchanged. Same for you. Your past doesn't erase your inherent worth. If anything, surviving mistakes, learning from them, it proves your resilience. It shows your strength. You're still valuable despite the mud.
Okay, so comparison, past mistakes. What else gets in the way?
This leads to a really key question. Whose voices are we actually listening to inside our heads? Often that self-doubt didn't start with us. It was planted by external voices.
Ah, like things people said to us.
Exactly. Maybe a critical parent, a dismissive teacher, a bully, an unsupportive partner. Someone somewhere said something negative. You're not good enough. You'll never amount to anything. You're too this. You're not enough that.
And we internalize it.
We do, often without even realizing it. Those words seep in, and they become our inner critic, echoing long after the original person is gone.
That's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
But here's the liberating part from the text. Just because someone said it doesn't mean it's true. We have to question those old messages. Were they accurate? Or were they just someone else's projection? Their own fears, their own limits?
Right. We don't have to accept them as fact.
Yeah, absolutely not. The danger is, if we let those external voices define us, we live way below our potential, trapped by someone else's limited view of us. We need to reclaim our own narrative.
Okay. And then there's one more subtle one you mentioned.
Mm.
Noble neglect. What's that about? It sounds almost virtuous.
And that's why it's so insidious. Many people genuinely believe that neglecting themselves, their needs, their dreams, their health is somehow noble, selfless.
Like it's the right thing to do to pour everything into others.
Exactly. They pour out every drop for their kids, partner, job, community, sacrificing their own dreams, their peace, until they are utterly empty. They think that's what love or dedication's, having nothing left for yourself.
A tragic misunderstanding of generosity, really.
Totally. The source uses that candle analogy again. What happens to a candle that burns without pause?
It burns out, and then it can't light anyone else's path.
Precisely. Such a clear image. If you're constantly depleted, exhausted, maybe secretly resentful, how effective are you really? How present? How loving? You can't be. Not truly.
So the reframe is crucial.
Absolutely. Valuing yourself isn't selfish. It's about keeping your own flame burning bright so you have light and warmth and energy to share. It's the essential first step to being a better parent, leader, partner, friend. You need to be whole to give wholeness.
Okay, so if we're going to really commit to valuing ourselves, what does that mean for how we actively shape our lives? It sounds like it boils down to raising our standards.
Consciously and consistently, yes. And again, not about being snobby or elitist. It's about honoring your worth.
Because the text makes that direct link, right? You teach people how to treat you by what you accept.
It's undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it for a second. If you consistently let disrespect slide by,
Mm-hmm.
if you always say yes to things you secretly hate doing, if you settle for less than you deserve in relationships or your career or even how you treat your own body,
You're sending a signal.
a very clear, even if unspoken, signal.
Yeah.
You're saying, this is my standard, this is what I believe I'm worth, and the world, being that mirror.
Reflects it right back. Okay, that makes sense.
And this is where it gets really interesting, the ripple effect. When you genuinely raise your standards, the world around you pretty much has to adjust.
Really, it has to.
It seems to work that way. It's not magic, it's just consequence.
Yeah.
You set a new baseline, you draw a new line, and people and circumstances tend to rise to meet it. They have to respond to the new reality you've created through your actions and boundaries.
Can you give some examples? How does that play out?
Sure. The source gives some great ones. Like, if you truly value your health, that's a high standard for you. You won't just eat whatever's easy or cheap. You'll make conscious choices about food, exercise, rest.
Right. Your actions reflect the standard.
Exactly. Or if you value your time, really value it. You won't waste hours scrolling mindlessly or getting sucked into unproductive drama. You'll protect it, guard it.
Fiercely.
And if you value your dreams, you won't let procrastination just eat them away. You'll take disciplined steps, even small ones, consistently. These actions aren't just random. They're external proof of your internal commitment to your worth.
That makes sense. But I can see how people might worry that having high standards means building walls, pushing people away.
That's a really common misconception, and it's important to address. The source reframes it beautifully. High standards aren't walls, they're filters.
Filters. How so?
They act like intelligent guardians for your life. They help keep things pure, strong, aligned with your values and your worth. They protect your inner space, your peace, your energy from things that would diminish or compromise it.
Okay. Filters, not walls. I like that distinction.
It's helpful, right?
Yeah.
Think about that gold analogy again. Why is gold valuable?
Because it's rare, protected, people know it's worth something.
Exactly. Now, if gold was everywhere, unguarded, given away freely, would it have the same perceived value?
No way. It'd be cheapened.
Right. And the text applies this directly to us.
Yeah.
People don't value what is cheap. They value what is rare, what is disciplined, what is guarded. When you raise your standards, you're essentially guarding your own inner gold. You're communicating its rarity, its worth, its value to the world. And to zoom out a bit, one of the most powerful underlying principles here is what the text calls the mirror principle. The world is a mirror.
Simple statement, but sounds like it has big implications.
Huge. It means the world doesn't just randomly interact with you. It reflects back how you see yourself. If deep down you believe you're unworthy, insignificant, lacking, the world will tend to treat you that way. It mirrors that back in your relationships, opportunities, daily encounters.
Wow. So if I see myself as unworthy, the world basically agrees with me.
In a manner of speaking, yes. But the flip side is just as true. If you fundamentally see yourself as valuable, capable, worthy, people respond to that. They reflect the respect and value that you project. It's a continuous feedback loop.
Can you give an example, like a real-world scenario?
Sure, think about something simple you've probably seen. Two people walk into the same room, maybe a party, maybe a meeting. Person A walks in, kind of slouched, avoids eye contact, speaks quietly, seems almost apologetic for being there.
Okay, I can picture that.
Person B walks in, stands tall, makes comfortable eye contact, speaks clearly, carries themselves with a sense of presence, of composure.
Right, different energy entirely.
Totally different. Now, who do people naturally gravitate towards? Who commands more respect, more attention, just naturally?
Person B, almost always. The one who seems valuable.
Exactly. And it's not about being loud or arrogant. It's that quiet, self-assured presence. The source really emphasizes this. Your body language, your words, your tone, your energy, they're all constant signals, teaching the world how to see you, how to treat you.
And the kicker is?
The kicker is what the text says. Nothing about the people in the room changed. The only thing that changed was you. Your internal state, reflected externally, shifted the entire dynamic.
That's incredibly powerful.
It really is. Which leads to the critical implication. Valuing yourself first isn't just a nice-to-have, an optional extra for a good life.
It's essential.
It's absolutely essential because it fundamentally shapes every interaction, every opportunity, every experience you have. It's not just one factor driving your life. It's the core driver. Your self-perception isn't just a thought. It's an active force shaping your reality.
Okay, so we get the why, we get the what. Let's really nail down the how. How do we actually do this? How do we take all this insight and make it real in our daily lives, like starting today?
Right, the actionable steps. The source gives some very clear guidance.
First up, it seems critical to guard your time and energy, like really guard it.
Fiercely. This means stopping that autopilot yes to everything that comes your way. We have to keep reminding ourselves of that truth. Every yes to something meaningless is a no to something important.
It forces you to prioritize.
It does. Be deliberate. Before you commit, pause. Ask, does this align? Does it serve my goals? Does it add to my well-being or drain it?
And the energy part, avoiding energy vampire.
Absolutely, yeah. Avoid spending tons of time with people who consistently bring you down, leave you feeling negative or exhausted.
Yep.
Value yourself enough to consciously seek out people who uplift you, inspire you, energize you.
And that whole saying no without guilt thing.
Crucial. It doesn't make you mean, it makes you clear. Clear about your boundaries, your priorities, your worth. It's an act of self-respect.
Okay, guarding time and energy. What else?
The idea of strategic investment in yourself, framing it as an investment.
How does that help?
Well, think about how you treat things you truly value. An expensive car? You maintain it, protect it. A rare artwork? You preserve it, display it proudly.
Right, you care for valued possessions.
But the source points out, kind of bluntly, that many of us treat ourselves worse than objects. We feed our bodies junk, our minds negativity and comparison, our souls distractions.
Ouch. But probably true for many.
It's a subtle self-neglect. So the practice is to consciously reverse that. Invest in yourself. Read books. Learn skills. Improve your health. Move your body. Eat well. Protect your peace. Enhance your mind.
Show yourself you matter enough for the effort.
Exactly. You're demonstrating tangibly, I am worthy of this investment. I matter enough to grow.
Makes sense. And what about that inner voice, the self-talk?
Huge. It starts with the words you speak to yourself, day in, day out. We all have that inner critic, right?
Yeah, mine's pretty loud sometimes.
The text offers this great challenge. Would you call your best friend a failure, unworthy, a loser? Then don't call yourself one either. It's such a simple, powerful reframe.
Interrupts the pattern immediately.
It does. So the alternative is to consciously, deliberately start saying to yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I am growing. Even if it feels fake at first.
Fake it till you make it, kinda.
Sort of. It's about reprogramming. Because self-value isn't built overnight. It's built brick by brick. Daily positive actions, daily kind words to yourself, daily boundaries held. Those are the bricks building that solid foundation.
Little by little.
Little by little. And connecting this to maybe a bigger principle, there's this idea, this universal law almost, that many miss.
Okay, what's the secret?
The text puts it beautifully.
Yeah.
You attract not what you want, but what you believe you deserve.
Whoa. Okay, unpack that. Not what you want, but what you believe you deserve.
Big difference, right? If deep down you don't truly feel you deserve love, success, peace, you'll unconsciously sabotage things that bring them closer. It's driven by that core belief about your deservingness.
So the belief has to come first.
The belief is paramount. If you truly believe you're valuable, you will naturally act in ways that reflect that. You'll make choices, set boundaries, pursue things aligned with that worth. And the world, being the mirror.
Responds accordingly. Brings you experiences that match that belief.
Exactly. It's not just theory. It's a practical way to change your reality by changing your internal belief system about your own deservingness.
You know, reading through this, I kept thinking of real people who really live this, who valued themselves, often against crazy odds, way before the world caught on. Their stories really bring it home for me, like Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, absolutely. Classic example.
Early in her career, she was told she wasn't fit for TV. Can you imagine the very thing she became iconic for?
It's incredible. The level of rejection, the doubt it must have triggered.
Right. But the point the source makes and what her story shows is her self-value. Let her hear that, acknowledge it, but not internalize it as the final truth about herself. She believed her own voice, her vision.
That inner conviction was stronger than the external doubt.
Exactly. And that conviction became her superpower. And look what
Yeah.
happened. One of the most influential people ever. Her inner belief came way before the world agreed. How many of us would have just quit right there?
It really makes you think, how many would have just folded? Which brings to mind Colonel Sanders,
Oh yeah, KFC. What was his story again?
his famous chicken recipe. Rejected 1,009 times. 1,009 no's before someone finally said yes.
Wait, seriously, over 1,000 times.
Over the 1,000. Imagine the resilience needed for that. The sheer unwavering belief in what you have.
That's almost unbelievable persistence.
The lesson is crystal clear. He valued his dream, his recipe, his vision enough not to quit. He knew it was valuable, even when almost everyone else told him it wasn't. That self-value plus the persistence, it created an empire.
Wow. Okay, that's powerful.
Right. And then think about J.K. Rowling.
Harry Potter. Yeah, her story is amazing too.
Before she was famous, she was broke, battling depression, getting rejection letters from publisher after publisher.
Just piles of no while dealing with really tough life stuff.
Exactly. Most people would have given up after, what, 10 rejections? 20, let alone dozens and dozens.
So why didn't she?
Her persistence shows incredible self-value. She valued her story, that whole world she'd created, enough to keep going, to keep believing in it, even when the world kept saying no.
And the result? Well, we know the result. Harry Potter changed everything for her and for millions of readers.
Her belief in her story drove her through it all.
So the common thread in all these stories, Oprah, Sanders, Rowling.
What's fascinating is a pattern. The world only recognized their value after they recognized it themselves. Their inner conviction, their self-belief, their decision to value their own thing, whether it was a voice, a recipe, a story, it absolutely came before the external validation.
It wasn't luck. It was principle in action.
Precisely. Their inner compass led the way to outer success.
Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room. The biggest misunderstanding, maybe, the question a lot of people listening might have, maybe feeling a bit guilty asking it, isn't valuing yourself. Isn't it selfish?
That's such a common concern, isn't it? Especially given how society often equates goodness with constant self-sacrifice.
Right, so what's the answer from the text?
The text is emphatic. Absolutely not. In fact, the opposite is true.
The opposite. How so?
When you actively value yourself, you're choosing to become stronger, healthier, more resilient. And because of that, you become far more capable of giving to others authentically, deeply, effectively, without burning yourself out.
Ah, so it's not selfish, it's empowering. For everyone involved.
Exactly. Think about the empty cup again. A broken cup cannot pour water, but a full one can serve endlessly. When you're full, replenished, you have abundance to share, genuinely, without resentment or depletion creeping in.
Okay, that makes sense. The full cup serves better.
And it connects perfectly to that oxygen mask rule on airplanes.
Right. Put your own mask on first.
Why? Because if you pass out, you can't help anyone. You go from being helpful to being someone else who needs help.
A liability instead of an asset.
Precisely. And life works the same way. By valuing yourself, prioritizing your well-being, mental, emotional, physical life, you ensure you have the strength, the energy, the love to truly serve others from wholeness, not from scarcity or obligation.
So it's actually the most responsible, maybe even the most altruistic thing you can do in the long run.
It really is, because it maximizes your capacity to make a positive impact.
And there's that ripple effect too, right? When you respect yourself.
Absolutely. It's not just about you. When you live with self-worth, You unconsciously teach others around you to do the same. Your kids, your friends, your team, they see it.
They see how you treat yourself, the standards you hold.
The boundaries you keep,
Yeah.
the dignity you carry yourself with. If you live with self-worth, you inspire them to aspire to that too. It's modeling.
And the quality of connection changes too.
Definitely. Someone who respects themselves, gives love and support from a place of wholeness, not neediness. It's a stronger, more authentic connection, rooted in abundance, not dependence.
Yeah.
It creates this positive cycle that extends way beyond just you. Hashtag tag outro.
Right.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it really brings us to a crucial question for you, the listener. Something to really sit with.
Okay, lay it on us.
Just take a moment and honestly ask yourself, what would specifically change in your life if you truly, consistently valued yourself first?
Good question.
Would you finally stop tolerating that draining relationship? Would you find the courage to go after that dream you keep putting off?
Would you walk into rooms differently? With more confidence?
Exactly. Would you stop apologizing just for existing, for having needs, for taking up space?
Yeah.
The source material suggests the answer to all of this is a clear, powerful yes. Everything changes when you make that fundamental shift to valuing yourself first.
It really does sound foundational.
It is.
Okay, so let's try and leave everyone with a final, really potent thought here. The core message, distilled down, feels like this. The way you value yourself sets the standard for everything and everyone around you.
It's the starting point.
So the call to action is, don't wait. Don't wait for permission or applause or for things to be perfect. Decide today, right now.
Make the commitment.
Start by speaking to yourself with respect, kindness, like you would a friend. Treat yourself with dignity, honor your needs, protect your boundaries like they matter because they do.
Walk with confidence, knowing your worth.
Invest in your growth, mind, body, spirit. And raise your standards for what you accept in your life, knowing you deserve the best you aspire to.
Because that ultimate truth is,
Your worth isn't debatable. It doesn't depend on anyone's approval. You are valuable just because you exist. Full stop.
it's inerrant.
So value yourself first, and then just watch. Watch how the world starts to shift, reflecting back the respect, the dignity, the love you've cultivated inside.
It's a powerful experiment to run in your own life.
Absolutely. So the final thought for you to mull over is this. What is one small, tangible step, just one thing you can take today, right now, to honor your intrinsic worth, knowing that even that one small step can create a ripple effect through every part of your life?